Hey, hey, everybody. It is 7 o'clock, live and in action, Central Standard Time. This is Wywana Montgomery. I am the personality behind Wywana Speaks, and you are tuned in for another lively edition of Monday Night Chats for Moms and Teen Girls. Sorry, let me get adjusted here. I had to run. Sometimes it's hard to live with teenagers. I got ready to plug in my ring light, and of course, somebody has jacked my wall block because they can't keep up with their own. Go figure. They have iPhones and have an Android, but they can't keep up with their wall block. Tonight we have a topic which I'm sure all of you moms and mentors out there will find very, very useful, but let me get the quick commercials out of the way. Not only am I the personality behind Wywana Speaks and an advocate for teen girls and those who support them, I am the author of the 2-time award-winning book, Bold, Brave, and Courageous, a no-fear success guide for teen girls. I call it the mini life guide, having huge impact. Grab it from my website, which you can access from the link tree. I can also help you with college planning through an amazing online tool that helps you keep your teens' profile, all of their activities, and helps them earn micro scholarships beginning in 9th through 12th grade, and a host of other things. So check out the link tree. But in case you didn't know it, April is National Financial Literacy Month. And so following suit, I wanted to support you all with some financial literacy for your teen girls. And who knows, maybe you will learn something yourself as the adult. To be honest, a lot of things that I now know, I had to learn on my own because we can only learn what our parents know. And some of our parents didn't have the best knowledge when it comes to financial literacy. So tonight, give me a thumbs up or a heart if you have a teen girl in your life who absolutely cannot tell the difference between a need versus a want. Everything that she wants, she thinks is a need. Give me a thumbs up or some hearts if you understand exactly where I'm coming from. And I'm not talking about something I've heard. I'm not talking about something I've read. I'm talking about something I experience on a daily basis because I am the mother of a 14-year-old daughter, the aunt of another 14-year-old who lives with me, mentor to many. And we see this day in and day out all the time, that they live in a materialistic world and they absolutely think that everything they want is a need. Thank you for joining, Kawana. Hey, beautiful. Back at you. So, and I'm sorry, I've got a persistent little puppy here that's bugging me, so I might have to run away and let him out. Station pause. I'm going to let these dogs out so they don't bark during our time together. I will be right back. Back, because you're not going to go out the door. Back. Go. Dana, out. Dana, outside. Out. Outside. Hurry. Out. Sorry, being a pet owner has its perks, but it also has some issues. They were barking, and yeah, the only person here is upstairs, so they couldn't help me. So I'm going to give you a simple framework, 3 points, and you guys are probably going to laugh because you've probably all experienced this. 3 quick pointers to help you assess if you're dealing with a teen girl who just doesn't get it when it comes to needs versus wants. So I'm going to give you 3 assessment points, and then I'm going to give you 3 practical tips to help her get it. And I'm telling you, the reason why this is so important, let me start here before I begin. I personally grew up in a single parent home. My mother gave me absolutely everything she thought I wanted, things I know I didn't need. I literally remember a Christmas where I got so many presents that I actually got tired of opening them. It might sound impossible, but it is possible, and that's when you're doing too much. And if you're thinking, going, well, man, my daughter is already a teenager, maybe it's too late. You have to start somewhere. If you didn't instill it in her or she didn't quite get it when she was younger, you have to start somewhere. Because if we don't get this understanding established in them now, what kind of life are they going to have as an adult? Are they going to be living paycheck to paycheck, credit cards running over, all sorts of things because they didn't learn to establish the difference between a need versus a want, discipline themselves accordingly, and then move from there. And honestly, my friend Kawana, who's on the call, actually deals with finance. I don't know, Kawana, I might have to have you on camera. So if you stay on here long enough, let me know if you're willing to come on camera and you want to add something, because I'm pretty sure that you have something valuable to add. So the first thing that I'm going to establish for all, because some of y'all are adults and you still don't know the difference between a need versus a want either. My mom is one. I have to help her with her money. Let's be clear. These are the things that we all need: food, shelter, water, oxygen, and clothing to cover our body. You can get that simple with your teenagers. The only things that you absolutely need: food, clothing, shelter, water. And you do need some money. I mean, we live in a world where you have to, but I'm telling you, if you're literally talking about what you can't live without, it's those things right there: food, clothing, shelter, water, oxygen. 5 things. Cannot live with that. Absolutely at all. So yeah, she's like, you have to establish that early. And some of us as parents, we're guilty, because you've created these extraneous things that you think your cute child, she can't live without this because she's just so cute. You got to have the latest this and that. So you created that monster. So if you created that monster, now I'm trying to help you get out of it. Now that it's not so cute anymore, because cutesy pie is now 16, 14, 18, making all these demands and you're not happy about it. So help her understand that her only essential needs: food, clothing, shelter, water, oxygen. Okay. I'm going to start in now with the 3 points that are going to let you know that your teen daughter just does not get it, the difference between a need and a want. Number 1, she has an unrealistic perspective. Somebody said 21 and 23. Right. If they don't get it when they're young adults who still don't get it. So if your teenage daughter has an unrealistic perspective when it comes to finance, what do I mean by that? Number 1. Is she in an absolute panic because maybe she's going to the salon a week or 2 later than normal because maybe something else came up in your life? She thinks that having her nails done are absolutely a need. She thinks that a certain jacket, a certain pair of shoes. If you have a teenage girl and you're talking to her about what's important and you're trying to prioritize, and her perspective is just not even there, you know she doesn't get it. Why doesn't she get it? Because you may have created this prima donna who thinks that these added things are actually necessary to life. And I'll tell you, parents, where we often can get into a rut here. I grew up, I was never hungry or anything like that. My mom dressed me to the nines, including very expensive Nordstrom designer clothing. I had an expensive foot where until about the age of maybe 10 or 11 years old, my foot was so narrow, the same way that people have a W wide foot. Imagine me being in the other direction, having a quad A, that's a 4A narrow foot, which means that I can only get dress shoes from Nordstrom, who made a quad A narrow. And then if they didn't have the quad A, it was a double A, and I had to have an insole. So certain things had to be done just because the way I was built. But my mom, bought all these expensive clothes, did all this stuff. Sometimes it was used, but a lot of times she was scrapping her last dime together, buying expensive straight from Nordstrom's and Macy's. So with that perspective, but on the flip side, I just wanted to set the tone that I wasn't hungry, homeless, none of that. Even though we lived in low-income housing and I got free lunch, I didn't even know I was poor until I went to college, because I went to Duke, where the people were bona fide wealthy and rich. So how we can create children unintentionally with unrealistic expectations. We are so grateful that we are blessed. The Lord has blessed us to make more money, live in a better neighborhood, drive a better car, own a home. My mother has never been able, well, I shouldn't say that. The short time my parents were together, they did own a home, but then once they split, she was never able to own a home after that. So we are so grateful many times that God has blessed us to live better than we grew up, until we set this bar for our children and they don't realize that that's their privilege. They don't realize it. So because they didn't come from the humble beginnings that maybe we did, your kid's standard is up here for what they think they have to have when really the standard is down here. But they don't know it because they've been blessed. And then because you want to make sure they don't ever lack the way you felt like you lacked, you are constantly doing above and beyond what's necessary or what's reasonable. If you have set a standard for your child, we're still talking about their unrealistic perspective. Have you ever not paid a bill or paid it late because you thought your child had to have this? Have you ever not taken your car for the necessary oil change to keep it running every day so you can go to work and potentially so they can go to school because you thought she needed this? If she constantly sees you making decisions that don't make any sense financially because you think she needs to have the this, whatever that is, that's why her perspective is unrealistic. Kawana says, yes, it's like let them appreciate the smaller parks before you take them to Disney World. She just spoke a whole mouthful right there. Disney World is now just about $100 a person. Let's not even talk about the cost of flying there if you're not local. However you get there, then you need a hotel every day. Then you need to be fed every day. It's hot, you need water. You might need the appropriate clothing. Yes. Share it to her group. Yes. I love that, Kawana. Take them to enjoy the state parks in your area before you jump on over to Disney World. So you've got to help set the perspective. When you are doing things that are unrealistic compared to your budget, unrealistic compared to the total things that you're responsible for, if you're willing to run up your credit card and then spend 3 to 5 to maybe 7 or 8 years trying to pay it off, trying to keep up with the Joneses, and the Joneses are broke too. They're trying to keep up with the Jameses, but the Joneses don't know that. So you keeping up with the Joneses who are trying to keep up with the Jameses, and everybody is broke. That's a whole other topic. So if her perspective is unrealistic, you have to look at yourself in the mirror because you might have created that monster. And then all of a sudden, when you do hit a financial tight space, because maybe now there's a plumbing issue in your home, the car broke down and you need a new one. Or now your older sister or brother is going to college and now you have tuition payments. Now you want to set realistic expectations. And she doesn't understand that because you've never done that. Let's be real. I have a son in college right now. Y'all saw us post when we made the final payment for the year. Despite the fact that he got an amazing financial aid package, which includes way more funding than student loans, his estimated cost of attendance, including everything for 1 year, is $42,000. And after his financial aid package and scholarships that he earned, we were just left with $7,000. $7,000 is a drop in the bucket, but I still wouldn't have been able to afford it if I wasn't a speaker and author being paid to speak and sell my book on top of my regular job, because that meant we paid $872 a month on average, starting from last August through this March. You do the math. When all of a sudden you've got that added expense, you better get realistic with everybody on what's important and what's not. So I think you guys understand point one. You know that your teenage girl does not get it at all, the difference between needs and wants, if her perspective is totally unrealistic when she's asking for things and making requests, and some of them are making demands on you because you've set that bar. You know that she doesn't get it. I'm going to get to how you help her in a minute, but these are some signs that you need to help your teen daughter out because she just doesn't get it at all. And she's walking around in an unrealistic never land that's going to bite her in the rear when she's an adult and responsible for her own bills and finances, and thinks she can keep living that life that she lived when she was a teenager and a little girl that you provided for her without boundaries. You need to course correct that right now. So number one, you know she doesn't get it, the difference between needs and wants, if her perspective is unrealistic and she thinks things like her visiting the salon and doing her nails are needs. Do y'all remember when, guess what? You used to have to do your own hair. When I was in high school, nobody was taking me to the salon. I did my own hair. We didn't even have YouTube. You asked your best girlfriend how to get your hair up in that little French roll that we used to wear that looked like the Queen Latifah crown, and you put the little gold things in it. We did our own hair. The closest you got to a salon was your best girlfriend who was really good at it doing your hair. Or you find somebody else in high school who was really good at it and you paid them to do your hair. That was our salon. Sitting on the floor between the knees of one of your friends. That was our salon. And now these girls think they're supposed to go to the salon every day. And then nails, do you remember? You used to paint your own. You went to the dollar store. Did we even have Dollar Tree when I was a teenager? I don't even know. You went to Payless, Kmart, because we didn't have Walmart. You bought your own polish and painted your own nails. Or bought you some Lee Press-On. That's what we used to do. But now you have 13 and 14-year-olds wandering around thinking that nails and salon are necessity. I'm going to go to the next one. Number 2, you know that her perspective is totally off and she does not get it if she's throwing a tantrum when you call her to the carpet and you are forcing her to prioritize needs versus wants. If your teenage daughter is having a fit, being disrespectful, slamming doors, yelling, can't understand, you know she doesn't get it and you've created a monster. Kawana says, yeah, I used to have spritz everywhere. Right. Burning, I remember burning my own forehead with the curling iron and the flat iron and burning your hair. We had to learn how to adjust the temperature. What we used to do ourselves, our kids now think it's a necessity that someone else does it. And I'm not going to lie, I have one at the salon right now, but you know why? Because it's her birthday. It's about to be her birthday. And she's taking a trip. My niece, it's about to be her birthday, and she's taking a trip to go back home and visit her mom and her brother. So this is a special occasion, and I struck a deal with her. I am not paying $100+ for your lemonade braids unless you agree to keep them up in your head for at least 6 weeks. Because this is mine that will put braids in her own hair. I make her pay for her own because she always wants to take them out in 1 week. I'm not spending my money and taking you to the shop to have it done professionally. Oh, and by the way, I have her getting a split-end trim and a deep condition too so that her hair is healthy while we're getting braids in. I let her know I'm not spending my money if those lemonade braids that you've been asking for 6 months are going to come down in a week. So if I'm paying, they must be up for 6 weeks. Because my hair right now has been up for almost a month. And I endure 6 weeks, 8 weeks. I know y'all see some little frazzles on the side, but that's okay. My time is coming. But I set a standard. If I don't take my own hair down and go pay to get it done in 2 weeks, neither are you. So if you want to snatch it down a week, you spend your own money. If you want lemonade braids, which are extensive enough to last for 6 weeks, if you tie them up, then that's the deal that I offer. I see y'all agreeing. I'll let her know you said happy birthday. And Regina says, amen. Amen, co-pastor. Amen. So I let her know my investment in you for your birthday requires that it stay up. So if your teen daughter is having a tantrum, AKA having an attitude, throwing you shade, rolling her eyes, rolling her neck, all those things we do, slamming doors, she doesn't get it. And you need to get her straight on that real quick and have a conversation. Because there's no reason. This is a young lady who's going to be a young adult, and your job is to prepare her for that. There is absolutely no reason that she should be throwing a fit when you sit down and talk to her on a mature level, which she's asking you for, and say, baby, you know what? It's not in our budget right now to go to the movies or to go out to eat. It's not in our budget right now. Maybe we can do that next week. Or maybe we can do that in 2 weeks. Or how about this? If we don't go out to eat like we normally do every Friday or whatever y'all are doing, then we can substitute this trip out to eat for the movies or the skating or whatever you want to do. If she can't understand that and she's throwing a fit, she doesn't get it. She doesn't get it. She should say, yes, ma'am, sounds like a great idea. Thank you, mom. Thank you, grandma. Thank you, auntie, or whoever you are. Thank you, mentor, that we can go out and do it then. Okay, great. At least you gave a plan to do it later. And these are life lessons. They need to understand that it's real life. Yes, Kawana says sharing your budget with your children is okay and appreciated. Kawana, I don't think we have met yet, but I shared on a live last year that we literally took all of our kids, including my son before he went away to college, and we put up a huge whiteboard in the living room, and we literally went blow by blow. Me and my husband put our paydays up. This is the problem. That's all. I'm going to try not to veer on this too long. But in black culture and a lot of other cultures of color, for some reason, parents have this idea that the money is none of the kids' business. It absolutely is. If they don't understand, then you can't get mad at them when they're asking for things that aren't in the budget. How do they know if you never share? We literally, Kawana, we put our paydays down. We told them exactly how much our take-home pay is, and we wrote down the entire list of bills that have to be paid under the date that we pay them, and we gave them monopoly money. So they were able to follow along, like we paid them according to our paydays, and then had them watch that money disappear as we paid all the utilities, the mortgage, the groceries. And at one point, we had this long list of bills, and we hadn't even bought groceries yet. Hadn't even bought groceries or put gas in the car. Hadn't even got the entertainment. And that opened their eyes. They couldn't believe it. Our tithes, everything we do, charitable giving, we put all of that on the whiteboard, gave every kid in the family monopoly money, and everybody followed along that track and paid those bills. So they can see, because that's the other problem. When you only use plastic, that also disassociates kids from understanding what's happening. When the money sits in the bank and you're just swiping a card every time. Every once in a while, they need to actually see the cash and watch it disappear. And watch it, what you save, so they know. Somebody told me when I shared that they think their child would be overwhelmed. I don't personally understand, but if you have a child who is a worrier and you think that's overwhelming, then don't do that for them. But for mine, they weren't overwhelmed and they needed to know, and they couldn't believe it. So again, if you've got a child, then the second point that you know your teen daughter is out of touch with reality is if she throws a tantrum every time you attempt to place a boundary, or you say, later on we can do this. Kawana says that is a great way for them to see exactly how money, where it's going. Yeah, because they don't know when you just writing checks. I don't write checks anymore. I pay things online. But they don't get it when it's just being paid electronically and swiping a card. They can't see the volume of money coming in and going out. So that was helpful for them. So she's throwing a tantrum. She doesn't get it. Because a child who gets it should say, yes, ma'am, I understand, and just be prepared for when you can do that activity. The third way that you know that your teen girl is totally out of touch and does not understand the concept of wants versus needs, if she expects you to spend your money impulsively. Boy, and that touch, dude, I felt that hit me in the heart, because nothing ticks me off to the hilt. So I've had to sit down and explain to my girls, I don't do that. I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't do it, and I'm not going to do it. They try to manipulate you. Try to get you on the spot somewhere. No, ma'am. I don't care if I am sitting in front of your best friend and her mama, and they just invited you to dinner at some medium to expensive restaurant that you don't have money for. I don't care. I will tell you no. I don't like that. So if she expects you to spend your money impulsively on her, she doesn't get it. Let me give you some examples. Random last-minute requests. Random last-minute requests. My husband says, he's like, baby, keep my pockets full. He don't want to do that either. We don't let them go between us either. We consult. You don't ask your dad, uncle, and he says no, and you ask me. You don't ask me, mom and auntie, and I say no, and you ask him. We consult. He and I have that understanding. You don't get to run back and forth and play games. We don't do that. No, ma'am. No, sir. So random last minute requests that they're making of you and then try to put you on the spot, she doesn't get it. Because you don't have an endless sea of money. And I'm going to tell you something. Even if you do, I fully expect the Lord to bless the Montgomery family to be wealthy one day. But baby, even when I'm wealthy, you're not going to be making random last minute requests, because you still need to know. I might be wealthy, but that's my money to do what I want to do with it. So when I am wealthy, I'm still not going to allow you to make random last minute requests and expect me to jump on a dime. No, ma'am. That random requests include you came home from school right now. Oh, can I go to the mall with my friend? First of all, that's a whole other lie, but do I know the friend? But when I get past that, do you have money? Nope. Well, no, because we didn't budget for you to go to the mall and you don't have money. Now, right now, all of mine work. So not to mention, they all work at Brahms. That's a local burger joint and fresh market. They all work at Brahms. They both work at Brahms, and my daughter has a babysitting gig on Monday night. So there's no, and she's an excellent saver. She can have a birthday and have maybe $5 left the next year from that same birthday money. They don't play when it's their own money. They learn to respect. They respect. At least my daughter does. She respects her own money. My niece is still a quick spender. We working on her. She will blow her own money. We working on her to slow down a bit. But I am proud of her. She saved her own money for her plane ticket home to Seattle, and I found her an excellent deal where she didn't even have to spend 70 of what she saved. So that's extra money in her pocket, and then we've helped her with spending money and getting her hair done. So those random last-minute requests mean she doesn't get it. She doesn't respect your budget, and she doesn't respect needs versus wants. The other thing, now I know y'all understand. Who has that girl that want to eat at McDonald's every day? Want to eat at Chick-fil-A every day? Want you to get her some Buffalo Wild Wings every day? Are you kidding me? No, ma'am. When you're not eating fast food every day, even if you have the money, that's a waste of your own money. And it's especially a waste if you are trying to, let's count them down, DoorDash it, Uber Eat it, Postmate it. Who else is out there? I have literally watched my niece spend $30 on some doggone McDonald's from DoorDash. Some chicken nuggets that don't taste good anyway and are bad for her and half fake. $8 meal cost her $30 when she got through DoorDashing it and paying a tip. That doesn't make any sense. Even with her own money, that doesn't make any sense. So we are teaching them all to value even their own money. My son values his money. He's sitting pretty good after stimulus and a tax return, and he still has almost all of it, and he got it like 3 weeks or a month ago. He still has almost the full balance because he's going bit by bit, making sure it lasts through the end of the school year, and he's still going to have some of that money in his pocket when he come home because he's 19 and he values his own money. He's in college. He values his own money. You need a haircut. You in Iowa, bro. Your options are limited in the first place, and he done found somebody that's reasonable. He values his money to stretch it out and get what he needs. So you've got to stop her from thinking you're supposed to impulsively spend your money in a dime. Thank you for joining, Tamika. One of my childhood best friends is on here. So your daughter wanting to make random last-minute requests and think you're supposed to spend your money? No, ma'am. Think she's supposed to eat at fast food every day when you got a refrigerator full of food and snacks and you're cooking dinner? No, ma'am. Even if she has money, you've got to teach her to respect her money. The other way with that, I got to teach them, one of them, quit eating at your job every day, pack a lunch. Then you get your paycheck and it's like $30 short because you eating there every day. They don't get it. Needs versus want, have no respect for a budget if these three things are happening. She has unrealistic perspective, thinking things are necessary that aren't. They're just extras, nice to haves, might even be considered luxuries. Number two, if she's having a tantrum when you try to help her prioritize or you say no because it's not in your budget, she doesn't get it. Number three, she expects you to spend your money impulsively just because she has an impulse, a wild hair all of a sudden. No, ma'am. So now I want to give you three things to help her. I don't care if she's 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. You can help her in these ways. One of them I already alluded to when I shared the Monopoly money example that I did with all of my kids where we were transparent. It's not the time to hide. I'm going to give you an example why it also makes no sense to hide. When my son was 10 years old, it made so much sense. He heard us always saying that we bought our house, right? Typically, if you say you bought something, you go to Walmart, Nordstrom, whatever the store is, they gave you the exact price, you paid in full, they bag it up, you take it home, it's yours, right? You own it outright. Unless you're doing a layaway, once you give the cashier some money, you own it outright. You've already paid, right? So my son was like, Mom, if you and Dad bought this house, how come you're still paying money every month? That makes total sense because he didn't know what a mortgage was. So I had to explain the more proper term, unless you just have a pile of money up front and you can buy it in cash. The more proper term when you own a home is you are buying the home. You didn't buy it because it's not done until you complete that 10, 20, 30-year mortgage, whatever it is you signed up for. Buying. You didn't buy it because you didn't pay in full. So they don't understand those concepts unless we teach them. So my number one tip to help your teenage girl or preteen get a hold on what's truly a need versus a want. And if you're joining me late, break it down and let them know. The only things they truly need: food, water, shelter, clothing, oxygen. That's the only things you truly need. And you do need some money because we live in a society. That's how we exchange currency for the things that we want or need. So share how you create your spending plan as a family. Again, get out of that hang up that maybe even your mother had talking about this grown folks business and mom and them and big mom and them. How can it only be grown folks business and then you want to get mad at them for asking money? You can't get mad at your child for asking for money and talking about we ain't got none when you've never explained what the budget is. Let them be part of the process. There's no reason to be all secretive about it. That's why we become adults and still don't know what to do with your money. Include your children in the plan. Put that girl in the plan so she understands what we are doing as a family with our money. If we're planning a vacation, put her in the plan. Y'all, this is how much money we have. Do we care more about how we get there? Or do we rather get there cheaply and get a nicer hotel? How long are we staying? What are we trying to do while we're there? Kawana says, this is so good. Awesome tips heading into a meeting. You are so welcome, and you can watch the rest of the replay to catch the end of it. But include her in your family budgeting so she can understand. Then she can really get a perspective on how much money is going in, how much is going out. Oh, this is why we can't do this astronomical costing thing at the last minute. Include her in because she's also learning how to budget for herself. Okay? So you have to include your teenage daughter in the plan when you're setting up a spending plan, a budget. Some of y'all grown folks don't have a budget. That's a whole other talk. You need to get your act together. And I'm going to tell you one of the greatest things that helped us with budgeting. I follow the Budgetnista. And she was like, we have files for everything else, but for some reason we think we should only have one bank account. That's not true. You should have a bills bank account. So we literally sat and figured out on average about how much it costs for all the utilities, all those things that you know you have to pay every month. So not only did we open a separate account, but I have the money coming straight from the paycheck to that bills account. So all the money we need to pay the routine bills are in a separate account. And then I use the bank's bill pay system to pay it. So now the other account that is the money for groceries and gas and fun, I don't have to worry that as we swipe our card against that account that we're messing up the bills because the bill money is coming out of the bills account. Life changer. Absolute life changer to have a bills account. And that tip was free. So do that. That'll help you with your budgeting if you don't have a budget together as the parents. Because if you don't have a budget, then you can't have the child. So get that together. You can have as many accounts as you need. You might have one account that you only use for all the automatic pay bills. That way you don't have to argue with your partner over the fact that, my goodness, you accidentally spent part of the rent money. You can open up a separate account and just let everything automatic come out of there and put the right amount in there. You know how much Netflix is every month. You know how much your mortgage is. You know how much your auto insurance, your health insurance, whatever it is you might be paying that's automatic, have a separate account for that. Then you don't have to worry about whether you're accidentally touching the automatic bills accounts. Okay, so include her in the process of building the family budget. Number 2, get her an account. Open her a savings and a checking. Or if you don't quite want to do that yet, at least get her one of those prepaid debit cards and load her allowance to it or whatever money you're giving her, because that will also help her budget. Sorry, I'm yawning because my ears get clogged up when the weather's weird and my nose is starting to clog up. So hold on. Got to pop my left ear. Okay, now I can hear again. Trust me, even I manage my money better when I'm swiping a debit card because I am keenly aware of how much I'm spending, what it's for, and if I need it or not. When I have cash, I keep cash because, I don't want to go in and all I'm buying is something to drink and have to keep swiping a card for $2. But cash goes so much faster for me, and I don't like to only do that because then I don't know where it's going. If you get your daughter a checking and a savings account, show her how to monitor it online, she is now also aware of how she's spending her money, where she's spending her money. She can get excited about building up her savings. You can incentivize her by the more she saves, match it. Ask the friends and family, hey, she's got a savings account, help her save money, or that prepaid debit card, like I said. Boy, when my son first got, good evening, Garnet, the first time my son, when he first opened his checking account and have a debit card, that boy was no joke. And I'm getting, my daughter is, now that she's working, I'm going to open her an account. Now, their job pays them on a pay card anyway. So their check is coming onto a specific debit card, but they can also track it online. So what I'm going to do is open her a savings account and then have her transfer a certain amount of money into it after she pays her tithes. The teenagers pay tithes too. Thank you for joining the show. So when you open them an account, you would be surprised how conscientious they are about their own money. Give me a thumbs up or some hearts if you know what I'm saying. Boy, when your kid gets a debit card with their own money and they're in the store, they be in there comparing prices like no joke. They'll put back the expensive item and get the sale item because it's their money. And they care about their money starting to run low. But yours, they think it's just a tree with endless fruit. That alone can really make her much more serious about finances. Get her an account. Because when she's watching those numbers go up and down, that means something. My kids do not play. They don't play if their piggy bank starts to look empty. So get her an account. Again, you're also teaching her a life skill. As she gets older, she's going to have bills with automatic payments. One of my niece has Disney Plus. Okay, that's coming out of her pay card automatic. So that's also teaching her how to balance. You don't have to be old-fashioned and write it down in a check register anymore because hardly anybody writes checks. But I told them I keep notes on a device in a save file. This is how much I have. And here's the thing, too. This is how you teach her with that checking and savings. I tell them what I do. When I get paid, I've got the bills account, so I no longer have to worry about that. Every bill is already accounted for in the bills account. Of course, sometimes they fluctuate, so you might have to add a little something to it. But either way, for the most part, the overwhelming majority is already covered with money in a separate account called the bills account. So I account for automatic payments even before that date. The money has to come out anyway. So teach her. Write down how much she has right now from birthday money, chores, her paycheck, whatever, and then deduct everything that you know is coming out. You might have got paid on the 12th and your Netflix comes out on the 20th, but either way it's coming out. So deduct that $12.99, that $13.99 right now. So then when you're spending money on what the final real balance is. So you have them write down and be subtracting everything that you know is coming out of that pot of money. So then you're not messing up. So I don't care that your checking account says you have 400. You know that you actually only have 200 because of all these bills that are coming out and your tithes and all that. So when you're shopping or whatever, you only think 200, 200, 200 and subtract from there. That's how you do it to make sure you don't mess up. Thank you for joining, Rochelle. So it means the world and will help her get proper perspective and learn the budget. Trust me, she figures out real quick the difference between what she needs and what she wants. Even what they buy, they start cutting corners. My daughter wanted the $6 body wash when I was buying my Arm & Hammer at the Dollar Tree, but she wanted to be fancy and want the $6 body wash. Oh, when it's her money, guess what? She settled for the generic one that said compared to, and it was $3. They pay attention to every dime when they're swiping their own card and working from their own account. Get her own account. I promise you she'll pay more attention and she'll start budgeting. The final tip, because I got to start heading to the salon to pick that one up. They got the hairdo for her birthday. Third tip, just to start showing her where her money is going. Thank you for joining, Lorraine. Have her write down So this is kind of her informal check register since we don't do that. Have her journal or keep notes in her phone of where her money's going. I pointed out to all my kids how much money they spend on fast food. Do you really need to eat at McDonald's all the time? That's not even good for you. You clogging up your arteries and you're young. You're an athlete and you are constantly consuming a 20-piece nugget and large fry. Not a good idea. And I also remind them, if you keep eating out every day, that's why you don't have money for that random experience that comes up and all of a sudden you want to go last minute with your friend or with the school or everybody on your team is going to eat dinner and you broke because you keep eating 20 pieces and a large fry every day. If you stop doing some of that, that's why they need to write down, again, what I say, cash goes too fast. Have them write down what they're spending their money on, because then their eyes will be open for themselves. Well, man, I got paid 2 weeks ago, which is 14 days, and I ate out like 10 of those days. Maybe I don't need to eat out every day. Or if I want to eat out on a frequent basis, maybe some of those trips should be off the dollar menu like my mom makes me eat. Oh, I tell my kids in a minute. If it's me, y'all, and some friends, trust and believe, reading off the dollar menu, that's too many people. So don't be in the car with 2-3 friends and trying to get the combo that's $6. Too much money. Because the friend might not have any money either. Or the friend is going to act like, I've had some of my friends call me and call out their own child. I'm sorry that she had you spend your money because I gave her money to eat. And because you were ordering, she chose to let you pay. So I tell my kids in a minute, don't be sitting up in the car with no group of friends and want to order a bunch of expensive combos. If I got to treat everybody, we doing dollar menu. Y'all get 2 things apiece and drink some water. Or if you want to drink, then you get one item. So when they're looking at and tracking, because they're not even cognizant of what they're spending, cash runs through their hands like water. And they don't eat cheap food, y'all. My kids love good food like me. They made some extra money because there was a gentleman running for school board chair and he needed some help. So they flyered doors over a couple different days. They made $10 an hour. The first thing my niece did is go eat pho. Pho is $10. But it was her own money. I'm like, this is extra money, not even outside of your paycheck. I'm fine. Go and enjoy it. This child went and ate pho for $10 and ordered some spring rolls and was unhappy that the place that she went to that time, the spring rolls were smaller than what she's used to eating. So that shows you right there, she understands about getting more value for your money because she realized she paid the same amount of money, but this place, something was smaller that's bigger at another place. So help them out. These are 3 ways to help them again. Share how the entire family creates a budget so they understand the process and how you all decide as a family what's a need versus a want and how you prioritize accordingly and have a rainy day fund. Let me give y'all a tip right here because you probably didn't know it. There is an app called Digit, D-I-G-I-T. You put that app on your phone. You can connect it to whatever checking account you want. You can also tell Digit, I want you to help me put extra money to pay on a credit card. I'm using it to pay off a credit card right now that's almost paid off. You can use it to help you pay off a student loan. Let your child use it as well. Your teenage girl can put Digit on her phone, D-I-G-I-T. You know what Digit does? Digit monitors your checking account and pays attention to, on average, how much money you still have left over in your account on a day-to-day basis. And based on what you generally have left over, without you even doing anything, Digit will pull over $5 today. Today you're almost broke. You only have $15, so Digit may only choose $2 today. And to put in a safety net, if you don't want Digit to overdo it, you can tell Digit, I don't want you to save more than $5 a day or more than $10 a day. I don't want you to save more than $5 a day towards my rainy day fund, but you can go all the way up to $10 a day for this credit card. And not only does it save it, but because I linked the credit card, Digit takes all the extra money that it helps me put towards the credit card and pays it to the credit card way before it's due. Because I can tell Digit when to pay it. So you understand how that's an added benefit. And you can also tell Digit to help if you're accidentally about to be overdrawn. So Digit will pick up that you're about to be overdrawn and transfer just enough money from the Digit account to the checking account to bring it to zero automatically without you being charged overdraft, any of that. DIGIT. And it costs nothing. Actually, it might be $5.99 a month, but how can you complain about spending $5.99 a month to help you save? We looked up at our rainy day fund and it had almost $300 in it and we didn't even know it because it's sitting in the Digit app. So when you get ready, you can transfer it to an actual savings account or utilize it if you need it. But Digit is an amazing, I actually think it's free. I don't actually think it charges, but again, if it does, it's no more than $5 a month. Your teenager can use Digit, a great way to help them save. And like I said, it monitors and it'll tell you today you didn't have enough money, so we didn't save nothing today. Like it tells you that. You're too broke, so we didn't save nothing because you didn't have nothing. Digit is an excellent way to start saving. So I'm about to sign off. I've got to go get my niece from the salon. Thank you for joining, Precious. Share this replay. You might need to listen to it again yourself as the adult. Share it in your group for teen girls. Share it with your friends. Again, I hope you've enjoyed tonight helping teach your teen daughter needs versus wants. I'm going to go through the points one more time in case you missed it. You're welcome, Tamika. These are 3 ways to know if she doesn't get it. She has an unrealistic perspective, thinking things are needs that really aren't. She's throwing a tantrum when you make a decision based on what's priority in your budget, or she expects you to spend money impulsively without an understanding. 3 ways that you can help her gain perspective and really get the difference between a need and a want. Share with her how you as a parent or as a family, how y'all do the budget. If you don't include her in the process, you can't get mad when she doesn't understand it and doesn't know why you don't have all this money to spend on something that's not a priority right now. Number 2, open her a checking and a savings account or get her a prepaid debit card so she can learn how to manage her own money, and it has an impact when they can log in and see their balance going up and down and they care when they're swiping their own card. Remember Digit too, which I just shared. Great app she can put on her phone. It either costs nothing at all or it's like $5 and it helps you save based on the amount of money you have. And then the third thing, have her write down and keep track of how she's spending her money. And she will see for herself some places where she can be a bit more conservative, prioritize a bit differently. I've enjoyed you all. Again, share, share, share. This is Wywana Montgomery, the personality behind Wywana Speaks. Please check me out on my Linktree, which I posted. I offer a variety of consulting services. My book here is something every middle or high school girl needs in their life, and all kinds of other ways I can help you plan and save and find scholarships for college as well. This has been another great edition of Monday Night Chats for moms and mentors of teen girls, and we'll talk later. Have a good evening. Next Monday, I don't remember the topic because I'm not looking at it right now. Sorry. I'm not looking at if I can get Facebook up on my... Oh, I restarted my laptop, so I can't see it. But the flyer is up on my cover page. I put the schedule for the entire month so you can see what next month's topic is. Thank you for joining, Claire. I'm so sorry I'm about to sign off because it's almost 8 o'clock. Please watch the replay and follow every Monday night in honor of National Financial Literacy Month. I'm sharing some financial literacy topics so you can help your teen girl be more mindful. Have a good evening. Bye-bye.